I'm too lazy right now to think of a particularly erudite or poetic introduction for this video, so I'll just kick it off with a generic, "Hey guys, welcome to another upload." Once again, we return to the bushlands of Brisbane, though in this case it's not the typical afternoon stroll in the dappled sunlight beneath the canopy. It was time to dial the excitement up a little and explore the forest under the cover of darkness to behold the denizens of the moonlit realm as they embark on their nightly forays. One by one, creatures that had hitherto laid low and unseen were beginning to stir, and among the first to emerge a small snake, Cacophis. It's a member of that most notorious of snake families, the Elapidae, and like all elapids, with the exception of a single genus, it is venomous. However, its venom is not regarded as dangerous, and as this individual's demeanour perfectly demonstrates, these snakes are completely inoffensive. Snakes are cool and all, well, unless you're an inbred shovel-wielding bogan. But as many of you would know, I'm all in for the animals without backbones. And thankfully, when it comes to our invertebrate friends, this nighttime adventure did not disappoint. Prowling amongst the foliage, a grylacridid. These insects are highly generalistic feeders. Fruits and nuts make for a fine entree, but other small animals are not off the menu either, and their huge, powerful mandibles will make short work of anything they get a hold of. As the hours crawl on, many other small hunters venture forth, and by day or by night, there are few predators in the undergrowth more shrewd and crafty than the spiders. This is Hortiphora, a true nighttime extraordinaire, and a bane of the innumerable moths and other insects fluttering about in the darkness. These are large, robust spiders that spin huge, intricate orb webs. Sometimes the capture spiral alone can span a metre across, a less than pleasant surprise for an unobservant bushwalker. By day, Hortiphora typically opt to abandon their webs, hunkering down in a secluded position around its periphery, such as inside a rolled-up leaf, or, in the case of this genius, in plain sight on a busy stairway. This is an adult female, and skulking about on the edge of her web is a possible suitor. He's substantially smaller than she is, and could quickly become her next meal if he's not careful. Unfortunately, I didn't have ample time to hang around, so the eventual outcome of his romantic pursuit was unbeknownst to me. On a tree nearby, a Badamna insignis sits at the entrance of her tangled, funnel-shaped retreat, patiently anticipating the arrival of her next victim. But not every spider is content with simply waiting for prey to blunder into its web. There's another arachnid assassin in this forest that is altogether more bizarre, and it takes a much more proactive approach to prey capture. Many spiders are nocturnal, but few have better mastered the shadowy world of the moonlit forest than Aegianopus subrufa. Like all spiders, her body is covered with minute sensory hairs that perceive even the slightest of airborne vibrations, allowing her to detect other animals, even in pitch blackness. But that's not all. She and her kin come equipped with perhaps the most extraordinary eyes out of any spider. Her posterior median eyes, so large that they bulge visibly from her face, are incredibly sensitive to light, outshining our own photoreceptors by an order of 2,000, perfectly primed to make the most of the minimal light available during her time of activity, and see clearly when other animals cannot. These senses are accompanied by equally remarkable hunting behaviour. Spiders, as a group, are renowned for the mind-boggling assortment of tactics they have devised to ensnare their prey, and among them there are few traps more cunning and devious than the one that stretches betwixt the gangly front legs of Aegianopus. It is a small, roughly rectangular web, consisting of tightly woven strands of fuzzy cribellate silk, and the spider wields it like a fisherman wields a net. a small beetle was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Milling about in the darkness, the hapless insect had no way to know that, mere centimetres above, a sinister will, guided by eyes of power beyond its comprehension, was fixed upon it. A Janopus, in one fell swoop, plunges the silken net upon her target, instantaneously entangling the unfortunate victim before it has any chance to retaliate. The beetle, almost certainly, never saw it coming. Some spiders have eschewed the usage of webs almost entirely, relying solely on speed and power to subdue their prey, and the long grass and shrubbery that a Janopus tend to frequent also hosts one of the most stunning of these nighttime prowlers. This is Neosporasus, a type of huntsman. This particular genus sports vivid warning coloration on the animal's underside, most notably a prominent badge-like marking on the underbelly, hence the common name badge huntsman. Many other huntsmen inhabit the trunks of trees. This Isopeda vasta is not especially large by huntsman standards, but with a stocky build and proportionally rather sizable fangs, she's more than capable of punching above her weight. Isopeda are impressive spiders with not an iota of doubt, but they share their tree trunk hunting grounds with another species over twice their size, Holconia immanis. Initially, all individuals encountered were juveniles, but as the night went on, the adults, which allegedly prefer to live higher up, ventured closer to the ground where the pickings are richer. The species epithet immanis means enormous, and an encounter with an adult will leave you with little room for doubt regarding the veracity of such a name, frequently attaining leg spans of around 15 centimetres. Holconia immanis is one of Australia's biggest huntsmen, and they're a common sight in eucalypt forests all along the country's eastern coast. Their banded legs, coupled with a thick black stripe on the abdomen, make these giants of the night readily identifiable for the practiced eye. Not quite as big as Holconia immanis, but appearing considerably more prolific, is perhaps Australia's most familiar huntsman, Heteropoda jugulans. This is an incredibly versatile species, inhabiting in all manner of environments, thriving not just out here in the bush, but in the very heart of the city and everywhere in between. So common are these spiders that I've almost become desensitized to just how stunning they are in their own right. A closer look at any individual will reveal a vast network of intricate patterns on what appeared at first glance to be a rather drab-looking animal. The smallest of the huntsmen encountered on this foray, but by no means the least remarkable, was Pediana regina. Spanning a little over 5 centimetres across, it's a respectably sized spider, though a far cry from the dimensions that we typically associate with huntsmen. Pediana are masters of ambush, a status owed in no small amount to their near impeccable camouflage. This particular individual isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, having opted to sit her mottled grey body atop a bright green leaf, though in her defence camouflage only matters so much in the near pitch darkness of the nighttime forest. This one, however, well and truly demonstrates just how seamlessly these huntsmen can blend in against the right backdrop, as she waits, almost undetectable, for a potential victim to stray within range. The huntsmen may rule the tree trunks, but living in their shadow are a multitude of much more diminutive creatures, many of which are, themselves, hunters. This Tamopsis flickati employs a similar modus operandi to the huntsman, lying low and motionless, its senses primed, waiting to seize passing prey in an explosive burst of speed. These spiders are sometimes known as two-tailed spiders. Of course, spiders don't actually have tails, let alone two tails, but a pair of greatly elongated spinnerets can definitely bear a resemblance to such. In the miniature world of bugs, every plant is an ecosystem, every branch a bustling highway, and every twig, leaf, or loose sheet of bark a home. And like any habitat, different plants each present a suite of unique challenges for the multitude of animals that call them home. Among the most complex botanical environments for a small creature to navigate must surely be the foliage of one of Australia's most iconic floral wonders, Xanthoria. The long, densely packed leaves, with their rigid structure and pointed tips, certainly offer adequate protection for any miniature inhabitants of the undergrowth. But at the same time, it's not the easiest place to move around in. Nevertheless, these plants are prime real estate for an assortment of animals. These paper wasps, possibly of the species Rhopalidia revolutionalis, are cozying up for the night, but other critters are out and about. A type of crab spider, Sidamella, positioned rather precariously on one of the plant's narrow leaves, waits in ambush. Crab spiders may not appear to be especially formidable, with their odd shape and movements that are so cumbersome that they can at times appear downright comical. But if you're an insect, you underestimate these spiders at your peril. Their large front legs are incredibly powerful and allow crab spiders to capture and subdue adversaries well above their own size. The Xanthoria plants also host other, more active and mobile spiders. Jumping spiders are typically active during the day, but this particular species is allegedly nocturnal, though I don't have much to base that on aside from the anecdotes of one of my companions. It's a member of the genus Opisthoncus, which contains a broad array of species found all over the country, ranging from small ones like this to some of the largest jumping spiders in Australia. But not all spiders out and about on this particular night are on the hunt. Some are devoting their period of nightly activity not to taking life, but to creating it. No matter what species you are, bringing forth a new generation comes with its fair share of trials and tribulations. And for this Phonognatha graphi, swaying chaotically in the cool night breeze, motherhood definitely seems to be a bumpy ride. These spiders reside in rolled up leaves affixed to the centre of their webs, but females aren't partial to sharing accommodation with their children, instead constructing a separate leaf shelter to house the egg sac, which will, upon completion, be hoisted up and hidden in the foliage outside the mother's web. Fungi also made an appearance, namely the splendid purple sporocarps of Russula. That's right, YouTube, no matter how badly my videos about mushrooms perform, your little algorithm is never going to discourage me from featuring them. There wasn't much room to talk about fungi in this video, and if you want to see more than a few seconds of footage shoehorned into the end of the upload, here's a full showcase of some incredible local fungi for those of you who are interested. And if you're keen for some more exotic night walks, check out my videos from Nakarada. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you all again very soon.